I'm like, I don't want to get off, yo. I just banged this bitch till it's dead around my neighborhood, bro. I went all the way around the other side. I came up the Eastwood ramp, and then I came down like that little wheelchair ramp. Just shredded, bro.
I mean, it's a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
I remember when I first got on, that was like the prime because like it was like $1 to unlock, and then it was 10 cents. It was like 10 cents a minute or something. It was something like that.
Mile would be great.
Yeah, 10 cents a mile or something like that. It was like 10 cents a mile or some shit like that. It was so cheap, bro. I'd ride for like 4 or 5 miles. It'd be like $1.50.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's so great.
I rode from that Dunkin' Donuts to my crib and shit. It was $2.08. I was like, I can do that all day long.
I rode from downtown to Firestone right there, and it was like $7.
Yeah, I think I had to get 2 scooters, so I got a little setback on that one. I think it was like $11 to my house though too.
See, when I was doing that one, I was looking downtown. I found a couple ones with low bars, but like I'm downtown, so there's plenty to go find. Right. So I just walked to the next one with a battery.
Right.
I was like, okay,
see, I didn't even understand that. That was my first time getting it, so I took it home because I was about to catch the bus. It was on Friday. I was like, I got money. Steve told me about these bad boys. I got one that got me up to like Hollandtown. And I had to hop off and hop a new one. But I wish they would put some more up here, man. It sucks.
I mean, their main areas of service are going to be downtown. That's about it.
But I was thinking, like, if I was spin, don't go down there and compete with Lime. Just come up somewhere else, man. These things are going to sell, bro. Once people hop on them one time, you're just going to sell not even for necessity, just for fun. Like, it's just fun. I think I'm going to rent a scooter at least once a month for until they're gone. It's just a lot of fun, man. If I see a scooter and I'm walking, I'm taking a scooter.
That's what I do all day, bro. Downtown, I'm working like I must be on lunch break. I'll just bang one to go to someplace different for lunch. You know what I'm saying? And just ride around through Mount Vernon.
The best thing, I'll tell you what, the spins aren't slow, bro. You said the limes are the fastest. The spins go just as fast.
So one thing I didn't like about the spins, the one thing I noticed was like when I would get up there. Like I feel it clocking itself, you know. At least the last time I rode them.
Well, let me tell you something I learned, dog. First of all, I'll tell you, like if you feel it clocking and stuff, like say you're going downhill and you feel it clocking, you actually have to let go of the gas. You have to create neutral, and once you're in neutral, then you can exceed 15.9.
Yeah, you reset it.
No, you don't. You can't hit the gas. Like you're never going to hit the gas and go faster than 15.9. If you're going downhill, right, and you hit the gas, it's going to stop you at 15.9. Like it's not going to let you, it's going to throttle you. But if you let go of the gas and go into neutral, then it'll let you go over 15.9.
Oh, rolling.
But exactly. You get up to like 22, like at Patterson Park, we were doing it. If you hit it again, though, it's going to take you back to 15.9. You're not going to keep up 22.
That's probably the best part was when we got to the top of Patterson Park where the pagoda was. And then we went downhill around that.
Like, the fast ones.
We were just going like,
that was cool too. But for me, like the best part was just that open street, man.
Yeah.
And we were just like, You know what I mean? Like that just felt so cool.
I remember I was sitting, I was like, man, I wish I brought my headphones. I was just bumping right now. Man. Oh, bro, I felt good because like, I took my bike out yesterday morning. And I was outside like 9:00 in the morning, bro, just riding this bike around town, and I'm just like getting it. The sun's out, it feels good. I was listening to Duncan and Joe's podcast. I'm just riding through the city, bro. It's so nice, man.
That's cool.
It feels so good, man. I love it, man. I got a flat tire though, which it sucks like dick.
Shit happens, I guess.
Well, I gotta get it fixed. It is what it is, But man, I was having a good ass time. I remember I stayed up all night and I was just sitting there. I'm still not tired. I guess I'm just gonna ride my bike and make myself tired.
You stayed up all night Saturday and then just went out and rode your bike?
I just couldn't sleep, bro. I remember laying there in bed. I'm just like,
you must not have expanded much energy.
I was like, I rested a lot, like Thursday and Friday didn't do much, Saturday I got out a little bit, but Sunday I was just like, I was kind of, was it Saturday night? Yeah, it was Saturday night, Sunday morning. Yeah. So Saturday, yeah. So I mean, like, I didn't do too much, but I mean, I never have trouble going to sleep like that. I remember just laying there. I'm just like,
ain't happening.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna smoke a blunt, And I smoked like 4 blunts at night. I was like, this will put me to sleep. This will put me to sleep. And it was like, all right, I'm up. So I took my dog for a walk in the morning, got back, and I'm just like, I still don't want to lay down. I'm kind of hungry now, So I ate. And I just went and rode my bike. I was just like, whatever, man.
You never crashed that day?
Oh, once I got back from my bike ride, I did.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember like, especially once my tire popped, I was like. I was downtown when my tire popped, so Bray had to come and get me. And then I go back home. I'm just like, oh fuck, man, flat tire. I don't feel like going to fix it right now. Just passed out. I woke up. All right, it was like around 11, 12 o'clock, and I woke up like 7. So I thought I fucked myself. I was able to sleep last night, so my sleep schedule's all back intact, which is good. I'm glad I fucked myself up.
I seen The Rock say that he thinks the fountain of youth is sleep.
what?
The fountain of youth is sleep. And that really stuck with me. I was just
yeah.
thinking, like, man, none of us get enough sleep. Man.
Yeah, sleep is it's so good for you, man. It's really like
but it sucks.
And the one thing with like working on exercise regimes is like sleep is very crucial to your recovery, to your gains, man. Because like
kind of pisses me off though. It's like it only gave me 24 hours.
Well, without an 8-hour job that realistically takes up 10 hours of your day, it's like, and then you want to have that free time,
without that though, like just the fact that 24 hours is a short day, bro. Like that's not a long time, man.
When you have daylight and when you wake up early, you go to sleep early, like you have a lot of time, and usually by that time, if you have that full day to do what you want to do, by the time when you're going to bed, usually you're ready.
What I'm saying is like I don't think 24 hours is a lot of time.
Like,
so any time you take from there is just less. Like I don't think it's a lot of time, bro.
See,
I don't think there's much you could get done in a day, to be honest with you. Like it's always going to take you days to do major things, like because there's just not a lot of time in a day. It's like if you really think about it, it's not that much time, bro.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like if you're thinking about like, let's say if you did sleep for 8 hours, just 8, you're at 16. Let's say you go and do shit all day. Well, you got to get there, right? So it's like travel. Like just traveling places and take 3-4 hours out of that day,
Yeah.
And so you got 12 hours. Oh, well, I ate, I had to eat, I had to shower, I had to shit. 2-3 hours combined, It's like actual of like time where it's like you're doing something. It's like 8 hours. Even if you didn't have an 8-hour job, it's just not that much time in a day. I think it's very funny design. Like I don't really know what's up with that or why they did that, but it kind of pisses me off because it's like.
Well, who did what? Like
God, universe, whoever you want to blame.
I was saying make time work the way it does.
Like I wish the cycle. I've seen Mike Tyson say that you forget about time on psychedelics, and that's really the equate. He said he was doing so much shrooms that he kind of stopped remembering about time. And I was like, yeah, that's how I want it to be. Like I want it to be like I start on my shed at 2 a.m. Like I wish that I wasn't so confined by a 24-hour day. I feel like that really confines me and like puts restrictions on my mind about like what's possible. But really the fact is if I started something, I don't have to stop. Just because the sun goes down, I don't have to stop something.
No,
but we're programmed like day's done. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you did your day today. We'll go to sleep. We're doing it. But it's like not everybody works like that. And I especially feel like that.
I mean, I think that's a byproduct of like, the work week, what I'm saying? Like, that's bedtime, what I'm saying? But I mean, like, there's plenty of people who work on shit, I mean, like,
I'm the type of guy though where I don't like taking breaks. I don't like lunch breaks. I don't like a big break.
I don't gotta sleep sometimes,
Yeah. I mean, of course, yeah, you gotta sleep, but like I just wish it wasn't so structured, Like I'm supposed to, I know like personally for my life schedule, I'm supposed to be to sleep at 10 o'clock. So I can get up 6-7 o'clock basically. But I just don't like that type of structure. I just wish that I want to live that life, where it's like, if I'm doing something that takes 20 hours, I can do it straight. I can do that for 20 hours. And yeah, I'll be tired, but I can go to sleep at 11 a.m. if I want to. Because I did what I want to do. Right now I can't. Not in the life I live.
Well,
I literally have a job.
That's what I'm saying. When you don't have a job, you can literally do whatever you
want. That's what I want, right? And like this book that I'm reading, like the George Catlin book that I was telling you about with the Native Americans. There's a point where he talks about like why natives like didn't store food and why they wouldn't store supplies and shit like that. And it was because in their belief, they believe that like the moment that you start like hoarding something, like you're not consumed in the moment you live.
Bro,
you get what I'm saying?
You know how they refer to the buffalo? They always called them our relative, the buffalo. They were our relatives, you know what I'm saying? Like they lived alongside them. And that's one of the things that the Americans did when they fought them, which was, eliminate the buffalo because of how dependent they were on that thing.
Right.
They refer to them all the time within their writings and, whatnot as their relative.
But what I'm saying is like, you're not going to catch a Native American with 200 pounds of salted meat.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? They're going to stay with the buffalo. They're going to hunt a buffalo that day. They're going to eat that buffalo. They're going to hunt another buffalo. They're not going to hunt 5 buffaloes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they believe that like you're supposed to be consumed in the moment. So like when George Catlin describes their days, bro, they wake up. You've got, first of all, did you know teepees were 30 feet high?
Yeah, they were huge.
Did you know
Yeah,
that? I
they
never
were
knew
huge.
that.
I don't know the exact height, but they were huge.
30 to 40-foot poles.
Yeah.
Constructed. Yeah.
Yep, they're
and you
huge,
also know
man.
the bottom of a teepee, it's dirt, but it's actually so clean that it'll barely get like a white dress dirty because of moccasin boots constantly stamping on it. It almost creates a polish to where it's basically a floor. Like you create a floor.
That's
They
interesting. Yeah.
sweep it. So when they establish that area, they sweep the fuck out of it to where just down to the bristles, no dirt.
Yeah.
And then you walk on it, walk on it, walk on it, walk on it. And eventually you start to
That's
establish
awesome,
like a
yeah.
floor that's not dirt, you know?
Yeah, that's the one thing, bro. I went into
Dude, I'm just learning so much from that book, bro.
Bro, I went into a really deep wormhole yesterday on prehistoric people and ancient civilizations and human history throughout time and whatnot. And man, it was just like it's just so crazy to think about the times of like prehistoric humans. You know what I'm saying? I remember the one thing that they were talking about was that at prehistoric levels, let's say like 100,000 years ago, there were humans here, yeah, but there were also 6 other species of human. 6 other human species that were like evolution, that have evolved from primates and were like the Neanderthals and the Homo erectus and shit like that. We lived amongst them.
Right, but they can't find a pre-Homo erectus skeleton, which is always the big debate. They can't fill in the gap. They can't fill in the gap. They can give you a skeleton of a standing up human. They can give you the skeleton of a 4-legged monkey, but they can't give you the skeleton of a gap.
We found Neanderthals.
Look it up, bro.
Neanderthals.
This was just established yesterday on Mike Tyson.
We haven't found skeletons, but I know we found skulls.
A Neanderthal stands up straight.
We found skulls.
A Neanderthal stands up straight. You get what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the process of when we were like this. You get what I'm saying?
I imagine that was so long ago, bro.
Dude, they can find ones before that. They have ones before that, though.
What do you mean before that? Like
they have humans that walked on all 4. They've got skeletons of that. You get what I'm saying? They've got
that family.
Of that species, whatever you want to say, species, however it is, right? They've got the skeleton of humans that stood straight up.
Right.
They don't have the skeleton of in between. That's why all of those, there's a different.
Assuming there's in between,
Well, like in the evolutional biological, like there's, like you said, there's multiple different species there, and each one you see stands up a little bit more. All those ones in the middle, they don't have skeletons for. That's all assumed. That's theory. You know what I mean? But they actually have proved the other 2. They found that. They can date that. But that middle part, that's all just believed. They were just establishing this on the Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan podcast the other day.
I was listening to that when I didn't catch that part though. So I mean, either way, there's various species of humans, at the time. Various species of humans, whether of different levels. So I mean, I was thinking it's like, like the only reason that humans are, around today is because we off those motherfuckers, man. I'm sure we were just some genocidal ass motherfucking beings where we were just at war all the time. We won the war over resources. They went extinct, and here we are. Like we won. Like I'm sure, like back then, like there was some tribes of humans. There were tribes of like Homo erectus. There were tribes of like Neanderthals, and they were all just warring with each other. Right. And we were probably just fucking them up, bro. Like I mean, just with our advantages as far as like the mind and our body structures.
Well, they also have proof that upright humans, made it with Neanderthal.
That's what I'm saying.
Like they have proof of that.
And the Homo erectus.
So you think that was
one
rape?
Before us.
Think that was rape?
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. 100%.
The dumber one down. He's dumb.
No, they're just like
he's dumb.
Did they look different than us? And they're violent, so we're gonna kill him.
But he's literally he doesn't have the intelligence you have. Like he literally doesn't. No,
not at all, man. And that's the other thing they were saying. They were saying 100,000 years ago, you could not bring an infant baby from that time, and it could learn what we have now. Like it couldn't learn language because the brain hasn't developed
right. It ain't got that fire into it.
For language yet, for the complex language we have today. And that's the other thing I was thinking about was like how amazing these ancient humans created language. To the point of where I'm sitting here to you, and I can look at you and be like, Mike, pick up the rock next to the green tree on the right.
Right.
Whereas before it's just like it was probably like so much smaller words, just like Mike, rock. It's like, just like this is so much simpler.
See, I have a counter
Such an
theory
odd
on
time,
that.
man.
I believe that before that, like you didn't need to say stuff. I've talked to you about this before. I don't think it was Mike Rock. I just think it was like a lot of this, It's just like a lot of this, there's no talking. It's just like we just kind of stare, It's
I mean,
like
probably early on, yeah.
a lot of spirituality. I
mean,
just
but
like to think of,
we were still definitely vocal. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that's what we were born with.
but you
You
don't
know?
know that. You don't know that. You do not know that. And neither
Yeah,
does a
you don't.
scientist,
No,
and
you
neither
don't.
does anybody
No, you
that was
don't.
there, bro.
You don't.
So when they say those things, it's like
But it makes so
you're
much
not telling
sense.
me something on fact out. Does it? Does it?
Yeah,
Because we
it
talk
does make
about all the
sense.
time how language is great, but language is a curse also, man. It's also what keeps the entire world from being one. The fact that I can't communicate with someone else of a different language. We talked about this before when I told you the movie Arrival. Like they did have something special on that. Where basically, if you were to talk, right? Like we would talk a lot simpler, where a lot of things could mean a lot of things. And then if you kind of like how Spanish words work, where if you put a word with another word, a word can become something else. You know what I'm talking about? Well, like in Arrival, it's the same exact thing. It all starts with a circle. Everything starts with a circle. And then all from there is what I do to that circle to manipulate a sentence. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
But like those aliens, they didn't have to do that circle for each other, right? That circle was just understood,
Right.
right? They
Right.
only had
Right.
to do
Right.
that circle to people that didn't get it, that didn't have that language. And when they were studying that language, they were just showing how immensely that would be able to help if we had an understanding like that. The fact that there's so much crowding, I want to tell, a illegal Mexican in Mexico, I want to help you, I'm not your enemy. I can't even say that, bro.
Oh
There's
yeah. No.
no way for me to be able to
So
relay that information.
I don't think language is the enemy. It's the fact of the matter is that as people, we developed these systems in different parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, like at the time of like, like some of the earliest, historical documents written, at the time we assume writing is, invented. You have, the Chinese, you have the Egyptians, um, you have, like the beginning of like the Roman empires and shit, like all that going on so early on. It's like we're
Mhm.
developing these things in different cultures and different areas of the world. So like, for me over here, like we, develop this grunting language, you develop a whistling language, anything to help streamline communication would just seem to make sense in that type of like, especially
Absolutely.
even early on as you're, being a defensive human, you're going to war with like some Neanderthals, it's only makes sense that like, to portray like you being like
Yeah.
threatened and you being angry and like the warnings of just being like
So then,
like
and that all makes
monkeys and shit,
sounds make sense.
like monkeys and
I'm
shit,
not
yeah,
saying sound don't make
yeah,
sense at all, right? What I would offer you on everything you just said, right, is like I think that we would both have to pretty much agree we're probably the smartest species here. I mean, I don't want to say that in a selfish way, but like we probably are the smartest species, but we're not the only smart species, right?
no, yeah, no,
And me and you have talked many a times about many of species, right? That
yeah,
we don't know how they communicate, right?
yeah,
Like we don't know how a dog talks to a dog. We don't know how a cat talks to a cat. We don't know how
right,
a lot of
right,
animals talk, right? So what do we assume that they do? That
which is not talk.
it's kind of up top. I mean, that's kind of what we assume is that like they kind of
Well, I
get
think,
it.
well, I
They
mean, like,
understand each other,
well, I mean, like
bro.
these animals, like they have a much more in depth, understanding of body language, and and that's how a lot of people, how a lot of animals portray things. Like when cats are scared or when dogs are, angry,
Hmm.
they get the, the hair stands up on end. They show their teeth, like that type of thing. Is body language,
Yeah, that's all.
along with some type of sound and whatnot.
But you don't
Do they
think
have some type
they
of
have a form of communication,
so
bro?
do they have some type of like telepathic communication? I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
cross species communication is where it gets a little difficult. I think
Okay.
when it comes to interspecies, it becomes a little more understanding because you're talking to the same genus.
So
You
what
know
are you
I'm
saying? So that would be the same thing, though. Interspecies or a different species. Same.
Well,
That's
cross
the same.
species, you're talking about different genes. You're talking about different types of, brain developments and
So
different
you
types of
believe
things
that
and
the same
understanding.
species can do it, though?
Yeah, because
Can talk in their head.
when you think about the
Not
species,
talk in their head, but
but
understand each
talk to
other in
each
the head.
other on a different level.
So then you
because-
do believe in it, though.
Yeah, but like I think cross
Right.
species is where it gets a little muddy type of
Right.
thing.
I never say anything about cross
Yeah,
species. I
yeah.
said cat and cat, dog and dog. Right?
I think
so
interspecies
you just
makes sense.
So you agree that you do believe in that, though. That you do believe that's a real thing, right?
Yeah, to an
Right.
extent, yeah.
So how do you think monkeys communicate? Do you think it's ooh ah?
I think they can do a little bit more with sound. They have those types of
Yeah,
abilities,
definitely. Sound has a point, right?
Yeah,
Because like you said,
they don't have language.
they don't have language,
No.
right? But they know what each other are thinking. I believe that, right?
But I mean, like we've seen monkeys. We've been able to teach them stuff like sign language and whatnot. We haven't been able to teach them any spoken language, but they can understand sign language.
Do you think they understand
something
each
they did on
other?
the gesture.
Right? You believe a dog. So you just said you believe a dog.
I think it comes to the tribe. I think when it comes to different tribes
within a tribe.
yeah, I
But
think
once
it
again,
becomes a little more
they're
difficult.
communicating through their head.
Yeah, I think it becomes
Right?
a little
You
more
believe so. You
difficult,
do completely believe in that, right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
mean,
definitely,
and you believe we come from monkeys,
generally, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, so
Apes,
you can
yeah.
see what I mean. That like, that's probably how we started, brother.
Oh yeah,
You just,
that's
you know what I
definitely
mean?
started, Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is that's probably how it all started. I don't think it was
Oh, you
Rock
mean like the
Mike.
head?
Yeah, well, I don't think it was Rock Mike throw. You know,
I think it was.
I think it was kind of just like you're saying, body language. First, I understand
Yeah,
your body language,
yeah.
but then also it's not me reading
There's
your
sound
mind.
mixed in too.
There is sound because
Yeah.
if I'm trying to scare you, I'm still going. I'm still going to do that.
Because we're still creatures of emotion.
Yeah, but it's like it's not. I'm not saying it's like anything crazy. I'm not saying it's like a telepathic thing. But like what I'm saying is like where you're saying first body language, right?
Yeah.
That's my context clue, right? And then from there, I'm not reading your mind. I'm just understanding your emotion. Your body language is your language.
Right.
That's
Right.
language.
I got you. Yeah,
That's the language people speak.
I
Is
got you.
body language. So now I'm reading your body language. We're way more in tune with one another than we are in current day. At that time, right? You're thinking the first two people that ever walk upright had to be Adam and Eve style connected to each other, right? Because you got no one else in the world like you. So I see someone else walking up for the first time, bro. I'm like, thank God, because I don't belong with the monkeys, but there is no human yet. So I imagine that these people just had such an amazing bond for one another, and they're doing the same thing that they come from, the same thing the monkey style, where it's not, hey, Steven, we need food, like, and then you get that in your head, but like you see that, like I'm searching for food, right? Now you put that together, and and you're using context clues. That's why I always use context clues. Like you can see me looking for food, so you just start looking me for food.
Yeah,
we don't need to talk, right? I'm looking for food. You're hungry too. We just start looking for food together, right?
Yeah.
So now we need something. Oh, well, we both established because we're not finding nothing. Now we both establish in our head that we need something. Doesn't need to be said.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be said, right? So now you go out, you're helping me get a weapon. I'm helping you get a weapon. None of this needed to be said. It was all things that we just knew together.
Yeah, but
the
the gesturing and language is definitely a vital role into how we have evolved.
That's the route we went, right? But what if we had focused more on that route? What if we had stayed along that route and had preached that route and tried to follow that route more? Why couldn't that be a perceived language also, just like it is throughout all of human, all of animal kingdom?
The whole thing with it is that when you're not together and you can't perceive that body language, there's no communication. Whereas, if I'm on the other side of a field and we're flanking an animal, I can call out from this side to you on that side and we can make a strike, or we can. I mean, there's you can tell complex stories.
Maybe I believe it too much, or maybe maybe I believe in it too much, or you believe in it too little. Because to me, it's you believe in it too little. Where it's like to you, it almost seems like science fiction. Like it seems like science fiction for that to be able to happen, right?
No,
but to me, that's possible. It's possible for 10,000.
I mean, we did that for a while.
Just like when 1,000 buffaloes run together. There's something going on, when gazelles run together, there's something going on. There's an understanding of what's going on, bro. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a fucking smart man. I don't know how to describe that. But just like a tree talks to a tree, a hummingbird hums, bro. If you don't think a horse talks to a horse, to me, it's naive. It's like that's an ego complex.
We already agreed that.
We've already agreed that, right? So then, like, to me, to not think that couldn't go farther, well, then it's just like, well, why don't I believe that, right? Why do I believe for that to be farther, I have to go to a language? Why?
What's the next step? What's the next step in that type of communication? You know,
A spiritual understanding.
you know?
And like, I know that sounds crazy, but like a understanding.
It only goes so far. You know?
Does it? Why, Steve? Why does it
Well,
only go so far? Why do you believe that?
Could you tell a detailed story? You know, could you tell something like that? You know, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know
could
what
you pass on
I
detailed
don't know
information,
what it's capable
you know?
of. I don't know what it's capable of. But I believe it can be pursued. And
So
I believe if I knew about that, I wouldn't want it to be pursued.
Well, listen, that's the thing though. We're talking about like, going through, especially earlier times, we're talking about some of the most spiritual people and humans that like we've encountered. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that type of thing would have been explored, but I think there's a reason we chose this type of language, you know, and moving on. Maybe because recorded history becomes easier, maybe because, this, that, the third, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a reason that humans evolved this type of way, and why we're some of the only people to have a real written spoken language, and some of the only species that have a real written spoken language. And I think there's a reason humans did that.
Right.
Spirituality, we do have that as humans, but as far as communication, that's not what it's for. You know what I'm saying?
And all of those same words that we created that do all of this for us also write our nuclear launch codes, also allowed the nuclear waste to pollute the environment, for us to create an airplane, for us to create carbon toxins, for us to create plastics, right? All of those words are what's used for that. All of those things are unnecessary on planet Earth. They're all unnecessary things.
But those aren't byproducts of language.
They should have never been created.
They should have never been created. Because language is a part of them doesn't mean they're byproducts of language. You know what I'm saying?
What are you saying there, though? I don't understand.
I mean, I'm only taking from what you're saying. You know, language being a part of those codes and whatnot. I mean,
you're saying that's what allowed us to do all of this, you know? Right? Is the fact that we communicated to this level,
it's
right?
allowed to be. We're allowed to be technologically advanced, but the language isn't what
you're saying.
It's what allowed us to become this advanced, but it's not a. That's not the reason we have nuclear weapons.
Right, but listen, but to you, humans are advanced, bro. To me, they're not. They're not, bro. You're advanced at one thing. You're smart, bro. You're smart. You're smart, bro.
We make technology.
You're the smartest guy here. You're the smartest species on the earth, baby.
Okay.
Good job, right? Yeah. But you got no soul. Your people commit suicide. Your people rape. Your people pillage. Your people kill. Your people are cancer to the earth, brother. You're a cancer.
But that's all.
You're a
that's
cancer.
Not a byproduct of language. But
you're saying that we're the smart.
That's a byproduct of human flaw.
But when you say like we're this is how we create. This is how we did.
Advanced doesn't mean we're the smartest.
All of these things
we're actually relatively stupid.
All of these things we did were for the bad. All of these things. The only thing they help are you. The only thing, all of those things you're talking about help is a human, bro.
Yeah, I did not list one single thing. I said we're technologically advanced. Language helped us become, this advanced for us to create and engineer these types of things. But that doesn't make language at fault here, you know?
What I'm saying is it was never necessary because everything
I never said it was.
Everything right. So then language to me isn't necessary. That's my whole argument, Steve.
I get that.
That's my argument.
I get that.
You're saying like that's what allowed all of these things. Well, you're saying like how we're the only species that created a written language. Maybe every other species there's no fucking point in making a written language.
I mean,
we live a very happy life.
Things like we're thinking. But language is also responsible for us being able to pass on the knowledge that we do, having that written down, passing this history on.
So an animal can't pass knowledge down, though. We have no. Dude, there's 100 species right in your face right now showing you that they do that every day without a written language. They don't
have a recorded history, though. I'm saying, yes, there's survival tactics that are passed on. That's fucking science.
Everything. So that's the only thing they can pass on. That's the only thing they can pass on.
All the knowledge that they gather on as animals that pass it on,
right?
Through their generations.
Without language.
Yeah, but us to be able to pass on, being able to make, these different weapons, the pottery, the clay, that type of shit. That isn't something that just is it transmitted.
Just tell me the one thing. Just name the one thing that you've made that improved Earth. Name it.
What do you mean?
What have you made?
The invention of agriculture and farming is one of the greatest things that we could have done for ourselves.
For humans. For humans.
For our species.
For humans.
Okay.
For humans.
Okay.
What have you built for the greater of Earth? Not a fucking thing. Not a fucking thing. Your paper, your metal, your table, your dams, your fucking man-made waterfalls, your flowers, your agriculture that you delete acres of fucking natural habitat so you can
Of
make
course,
tofu.
nowadays we do
So you can
that. That's
make
not how we did
tofu.
it back then, bro.
Bro,
We were different people
anytime.
back
The
then.
moment that you mass farm, you already did that. You were already on that route to do that. Everything we've ever created was only for the benefit of human. But you won't say that about another species, bro, because they never created it because it wasn't a necessity. So you did. So your language made you so smart. It allowed you to build all these things that ruined your life. That's what your language did.
I wouldn't say any of these things. Like I mean, like when we get into the modern era, we create a lot of self-destructive things. But when we're talking about the cities we built early on, I mean, like
cities aren't cancer, dude. Cities shouldn't exist.
We were good.
Cities shouldn't exist in the world. Cities should. Cities are evil. Cities are sadistic. Cities should not exist. City doesn't make any sense.
We should just remain as like hunter-gatherers, you know what I'm saying?
You could say village, you could say small populations, but the moment you create a city,
well, the moment you make a village, that's where the agriculture comes into play. You settle down, you start making your own food and farming.
Right, but I'm not trying.
That small scale farming is not a big deal.
No,
right?
and exactly. That's fine. That's fine. That's great, right? That's great.
That's what I'm saying.
But the moment that you want to make it for another village, now you're overusing your sources. So all that did was lead you to another thing. If you'd have stayed right there farming your own shit in your villages, today we wouldn't have a hole in the ozone layer. But you wanted greed. You wanted other things that came along with that. You kept pursuing that.
That's humans, bro.
You know what I mean?
Those are humans. You know
so what do you think? So we think humans are the only species with greed on the planet? No, a lot of species have greed, right?
Mostly apes.
But none of them hurt planet Earth with that greed. They hurt a lot of things, but they didn't hurt planet. You get what I'm saying?
No, and at one point we didn't either. We used Earth to our benefit. That's what a lot of animals do. You know what I'm saying? Beavers destroy forests if the population goes unchecked with with their predators driving off.
Which is naturally would happen.
Beavers will destroy their shit. They'll chew down every fucking log. And they'll build dams. They'll back them up and cause these crazy floods. You know what I'm saying? Animals are also maybe not to the level that we do it, but that's also because we're so self-destructive and stupid at the same time. Our one greatest gift is our one biggest curse.
What you're talking about is a very small scam, like a dam backed up that would only affect literally wherever that dam was at. You're not putting a hole in the ozone layer. You're not affecting the water in China.
Oh yeah, no,
you get what I'm saying?
Not at all.
So that could happen 1,000 times. That could happen every day. It would do nothing to planet Earth.
On different scales, bro.
That would do nothing to planet Earth.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But none of this is language's fault. You know what I'm saying? All that would be at the fault of the human and what we chose to do.
Well, I'm just making the language because you're saying that basically you were saying that language was created so we could have a recorded history and create these things. But all of those things are evil, and we did nothing good with any of them. The only good we ever do is try to fix shit we already fucked up, and then everybody goes, "Great job cleaning up the trash," but you put the trash there. Great job coming up with a recycling for plastics, but you created the plastic. So all you're ever doing is getting claps for fixing the problems you created.
I mean, humans are fundamentally flawed. You know what I'm saying?
So what I'm saying is,
I never said any of those
that.
things. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we got here. We created crazy technologically advanced things. Because of what we're here. We're able to launch satellites. We're able to do have crazy radio communications with each other across the world. You know what I'm saying?
All shit we don't need. But I've told you about before, right? I've talked about you before with my theory of division, bro. I told you before, I think it's literally from the top of the world to the bottom of the world is nothing but a way to divide. I told you that's why a Baltimore Orioles baseball fan hates a Yankee fan. That's why a Ravens fan hates a Steelers fan. And that's why you speak a different language than a person 100 miles over the border. That's just... And that's what it is, bro. It's just another thing.
That's the reason, as humans, we developed separately in the world. You know what I'm saying? We created different things from the jump. That cursed us from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Our migration was one of the biggest downfalls for humans, because then the Chinese created their own culture, their own systems, their own language. And then the Egyptians, they created their own style, architecture, culture, history, whatever. Then the Romans did their own thing. You know what I'm saying? You had Vikings up in Greenland doing their own thing. People, you had the Norte Chico people in Peru that were just doing their own thing by themselves down there.
Me and you talked before, right? About what would be the power? How much power would the first person who learned how to lie had, right? Like, that's so powerful, right? It's the ultimate power. Might have been the most powerful person to ever exist. The first person that knew a lie, right? So when all that's happening, right, and we're migrating everywhere, right? When we're literally, we got 100,000 humans here. You still believe there's evil people, right?
Yeah.
So if I see something that is the natural way, something that's beautiful, something that's good, something that's righteous, right? And it's going the proper way, but I'm an evil person. I don't want that. I don't want that, right? I don't want. So I go, I got two people here. I want to control them both. I want them to not even be able to talk to each other, but I know both their languages. I do, right? Because I'm the
Yeah.
evil person, right? And now I can say, this is what he said about you. This is what he said about you, right? And that's a common problem of people being misinterpreted throughout all of history and still to this day.
Yeah.
Evil people, right? That pulled these evil strings. It's just like the Rothschild when they find out oil. You know what I mean? It's just like what? It's like
Well, Rothschild's at the banking.
it's banking. Sorry. And the other one, God damn it, not Rothschild.
Rockefeller?
Rockefeller with the oil.
Yeah.
Or Soros with the war crime, right? They see this hole and they go, I can exploit this, man. And that was happening from the first 1,000 of humans, bro. There was an evil one that was creating that. So it's
100%, bro.
very
100%.
easy for me to go, I can create this thing that will divide all of them, man. And I get what you're saying. Like, I get what you're saying, and it makes sense. Like, I totally get what you're saying. You're saying, like, naturally, you're going to create something so you can communicate with each other. But, like, I just think that's us, like, really looking at it from such a logical perspective because, like, me and you, I feel like we don't even really understand what spirituality is or what its capabilities are.
I
So
mean,
it's like when we say things like that, like it's not even understandable to you. And it's not to me either. But it doesn't mean that something isn't possible, bro. And you can say that it's magic, but there's plenty of magic examples all throughout the entire world.
And I got you, man.
It's just a thing.
The only thing I
like,
can tell you is what I think. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what I think. You know, I mean, like, I'm like, you know, especially when you're thinking about early humans, you know, especially with spirituality, you know, there's so much focus on surviving at this point in time for humans. You know what I'm saying? I want to say most of their brain is focused on survival because you're barely surviving. You're not thriving as humans right now. You are surviving and barely, you know what I'm saying? You're hanging on. You're going days without food still. You know, you're still, you know, lacking water sources, you know, like that type of thing. You're not still being able to store anything and you're moving around, you know, I mean, like, you know, I mean, like they say like, you know, people would move and it would take them days just to get, you know, a mile because there's no sense of direction, you know. I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
in the uncharted
but
world.
let's say there's 7 billion people, right? And money doesn't exist. I bet you there's less poverty. Wouldn't that be a very funny thing? But I bet you there would be less starvation. I bet you. I really bet you. It would be better.
Tough to say.
The reason that it's that swayed is just like the same example I said why you have Annapolis and you have Baltimore, but you get the highest median.
Well, I mean, even as far as, you know, as the civilizations that we know, you know, as far as, you know, the Sumerians go, as far as the Egyptians go, as far as, you know, all those people go, those people were, you know, I mean, they were enslaving each other, you know, I mean, they were all I mean, like, there was poverty all across the board, you know, I mean, because I mean, like, there was a powerful set of humans, you know what I'm saying, the only other way out of that, you know, type of cycle, you know, where like not everyone was in the same, you know, thing. People were poor, some people were just like, you know, farmers and, you know, taken advantage of. And, you know, the only way to get out of that type of thing would be to go off and venture on your own, which is how people got spread out as far as they did. You know, and I'm sure the one major driver for human migration is escaping some type of persecution or violence, you know, whether it be civil wars within the, you know, tribes, other wars with villages, you know, pillaging, that type of thing. You know, humans are, you know, especially early humans are incredibly aggressive, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just another thing that you assume now. There's another thing that you assume.
What, aggressive people?
That people were aggressive.
I mean, they have instances, you know, of really ancient mass graves, and, you know, and you know, like very serious.
But you
know,
can't
trauma,
explain
you know?
that grave though.
Very true.
You don't know if
Very
there was a
true.
plague,
Very
right?
true.
A plague
Very
came,
true,
right? You don't know if they had
Just
disease in them.
You
You don't know what it is.
I'll
But
tell you what I think, you know.
but you're, I mean, you're
what you think. You know? No one knows about this time period.
But
You know?
that's exactly. So, like, let's not say it as fact. You know, let's not say people were aggressive. Let's like people were probably aggressive, and you can try and explain it, but it doesn't mean people were aggressive.
I'm just gonna, you know, state my path. I think early humans were incredibly aggressive. You know,
right? And
you're surviving. You know, you're fighting for resources. Someone takes food out your mouth, humans are gonna fight for it. You know, you're barely surviving at this point in stage in life.
In that instance, but you also would have the most resources that any human ever had in the world, actually, as far as like what you need to
But
survive.
it's the knowledge of, figuring out that knowledge of what you need.
And that's where other people come and help. But like you have the most resources possible. There's resources everywhere you would go. You would find water and food literally everywhere.
There's other people who who are in that same area, less resources than you. They see you have abundant resources. They want what you got.
Right.
You don't want to share because you got to feed your people. Well, we're going to war over resources.
Once again, that's what we believe. For me, I think this is just something that maybe I can't even explain it properly to you, but like, I just see it very differently, bro. I think the world that you think was there is the world that kind of is created from your current perception of what the world is. And like I've told you many times, I think we took a lot of wrong turns throughout time. I think we created a lot of evil. A lot of it was bad, more bad than good, 99% probably bad. And now you're getting a current productive feel. You're getting a current production of that feeling of all of that evil that we've created all of these years. And that's what creates your perception of what people were probably like back then. I don't think I live with that type of bias because I think, and personally, I feel like I have a different kind of understanding. I'm not saying I'm right at all, but like to me, I don't assume that people were evil. I don't assume that animals were as evil. I actually assume that this planet was a lot different feeling, bro. I bet that when you woke up in the morning, you felt a lot different than you feel today. I bet just the air being different and the chemicals that alter your body change you a lot every single day. And I bet that all of these things are what play into you thinking that the first people were aggressive. But I don't feel like that. I feel like the first people were probably the most loving ever. They probably were on the planet with some of the most loving creatures ever who never knew what it was like to be inside of a cage artificially in simulator or at a zoo getting shit thrown at them for $4 a mission. I think that it was a different type of love that you've never experienced in life and that you couldn't even picture on Earth because it's a lot less evil. But you have this evil complexion of what today's world is, and you assume that it probably the way that we got like this was because it was so ruthless. Where I believe that actually we just let evil win too many times, and that's what happens. You let evil win some big battles, like oil prices, and you let that happen.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think there's a label that, like, I never said that these humans were evil because the atrocities and the things that they committed at this time, I couldn't say could be assigned any moral side.
I never said that. Yeah, you said aggressive.
No,
yeah. I'm talking about evil humans.
That's what I'm saying. But that doesn't make. And that's what I'm saying. That doesn't make people. Like I said, I don't think you can assign it to any moral side. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not evil. Because it's all based on ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance is not a bad thing. We don't have that knowledge. As early humans, you're not settling in one place. You're waking up. You're traveling. You're moving around. You're not. Like,
what knowledge do you mean? Like you don't know to not fuck your own child?
You don't exactly.
Right? You believe that, right?
You don't know. Right. This other human. You know what I'm saying? But the connection I have with these humans in my tribe, I know these humans.
But we both don't know why sea turtles know to run to the water when they hatch, right?
Some run the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Some run the wrong way. Some do.
That's why they lay
some do,
hundreds
right?
of eggs.
Some do, right? But most of them go towards the water.
No, I think it's actually like 10% of that nest survives.
The video that I seen, I want to say like 95% of them were running towards the water.
Was it assisted? Because people do assist those things because they're endangered species.
Maybe it was. It could have been. I guess I can't say for sure. But what I seen was about 1,000 eggs. And I want to say obviously it's hard to tell in 1,000. But I've seen way less going the opposite way.
But that's also another, animal.
Why does a bird know to fly south? Why does a bird know to fly south?
From what we believe, it's magnetic fields. But
it's a magnetic field. A magnetic field, right? So they just know these things, though, bro. They know these things, bro. Right? But you wouldn't know not to fuck your own kid. Why do we assume that?
As an early human, bro. It's a different brain structure. It's a different brain structure, bro.
It's just, to me, I don't know. I don't think it's like this black cloud over things. I guess I get what you're saying. Like I think
it's weird to call it a black cloud.
That's how I see it. That's how I see it. For me, I always just picture the world was a lot better, man. I don't believe that it has the same structures of thought or 1 + 1 = 2 that today 1 + 1
of course they didn't.
2. It doesn't. Of course they didn't. So when you're saying like this is how you see it because we need it to be aggressive because we needed resources. Well, like that's to you doing 1 + 1 today, in my opinion. You're not doing 1 + 1 then. It's just
they're surviving.
I think it's a very. I think it's a bro. I like to picture it fucking Avatar style, bro, where it's just a completely different understanding between our species and animals also, bro, where it's all up here, man. No language, dog. It's just an understanding of why, like picture about in the middle of the desert, right? When those desert water piles, right? The desert water pools,
Mhm.
animals from all over the desert meet at that water spot and they don't attack each other. They're hungry and they attack each other later in the day. But when they're at that water spot, they don't. They all drink their water. They bathe in the water. They go about their separate days and whatever happens, happens, right? But they meet there and they all mutually agree. Right here, blood doesn't get shed. Right? So there's these
Well, I mean,
little,
you know,
I'm just trying to explain like these little things, right? There is understandings, right?
well, I mean, tigers, lions, and all them are known to hunt those water holes, bro. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I mean, like,
Dude, you
it's a
can
known
definitely
thing.
have them
It's a
hunting,
known
but there's
thing.
countless examples, bro. You can look up pictures. There's literally
It
pictures
happens. Yeah,
of
it happens.
lions and
Yeah, it
tigers
happens.
bathing with
Yeah,
the
it
gazelles.
happens.
It
Yeah,
happens, right?
yeah.
Because, but you're saying it happens, right? But see how it happens, but you have just as many examples of that as you do of seeing the other thing. But you're saying that one happens, the other one's normal, right? You're saying that
But they call it
happens,
that this is
the other one's normal.
But to say that this is a sacred thing, but like, but it's been seen that they hunt these types of places
It's
because
been
they know
seen,
people want
right?
to come for their water.
But it's
You
also
know,
been
it's like
seen that a child molester will hang out at a park because he knows kids come there, right? But he's an
Okay.
evil person, right? And
Okay.
most people that come to the park don't.
Okay.
So it's like you've seen
think-
no more of one than the other, but you assume that
See-
the more aggressive one is the natural one.
Well,
It's
I mean,
just
like,
weird. It's so weird to me.
No, I never said either one was the normal thing. I literally just said that they do that too. You know what I'm saying? That they do both. I don't understand why you can't do both.
Just
Like I
just
said,
like
I don't believe
what I'm
animals can be
saying is,
assigned a good
I
and evil
believe-
nature.
I believe the other is
The
the
animals-
rare
animals'
instance.
opportunity, you
I
know?
believe it's a rare instance of the other one. Just like when we're at war and we say ceasefire and someone still shoots a bullet.
And that's
Everyone doesn't shoot a
and
bullet.
that's an
One
assumption
person
that you
shoots a
make
bullet.
on your behalf because you believe that one's the normal one, the other one's not the normal. I mean, like I don't understand. You know, what I mean, it's like I know that it's the same thing. You know, what I mean, like I don't understand how we're labeling mine normal, abnormal, like you're calling the other one normal, but based off a few instances, and I have a few instances of this side. So I
Well,
understand
number
what's
one,
normal,
no one's saying you're wrong. No one's saying you're wrong.
So I understand,
like you said,
what
I'm saying, why do you always think the normal is the aggressive?
I never called one
did-
normal either. I never said one was normal, one's the other normal. I said they've been observed doing the other thing as well.
But go back to your other example.
you
If you
know?
said you believe the first time that humans existed, we were aggressive. Why do you believe that? You just
I think we were.
but you didn't see it any
think
more
we
than
were
you've seen
aggressive.
anything else. You got nothing
I
to
think we
go
were
off of that.
aggressive.
You know, you
Just
got
like
nothing
you
to
don't
go
have
off
nothing
of.
off either.
I
I just think that they're. I just
I
think
don't.
that's what I think.
I just wonder why, why are you
know?
like inclined to think the darker side of things?
I mean, think about the time that we have of supposed recorded history. What do we see the Egyptians doing? Mass enslavement, building the pyramids. I mean, that's a huge thing.
Once again, a hugely debated thing.
What did the Romans
a hugely
do?
debated thing,
What did the Romans
bro.
do?
You find people to
the
this.
Romans enslave people and have bathhouses where they fuck kids. I don't understand.
Once again,
You know?
I said from the beginning, you
You
shouldn't
know?
have a city. There should have been no Rome, so there
You
would
know?
have been no Romans.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think this is early on. That's just what I think. I mean, just like you think people were good, based off
I'm not saying you're
some
wrong,
assumption of
Steve.
presumption,
I'm
you know what I'm
asking you
saying?
a question of why do you believe the aggressive side of it? Like, is it just because of like what you know, like what you've learned? Like,
I mean, like what
is that what it is?
I mean, what else can we go off of besides what I think happened? You know what I'm saying, or what we assume could have happened based off my knowledge of history and what I've learned about early humans that were like from early cultures, that what we've studied and what we've seen, that people were pretty fucked up. And I think especially when you go further back, where humans were in survival mode, where they're surviving, where you're surviving off the land, you're not farming. There's no guaranteed food source. Once you eat that stalk of bananas, you gotta go find another stalk of bananas.
Mhm.
Once you kill these 3 boar, you gotta go find another family of boar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think
That's
when it came,
crazy to me.
if it comes to me, I'm looking like, let's say you meet another group of 10 hunters, and we have 1 boar here.
It's just crazy to me.
And
that
they want to eat. I think they're gonna fight over it.
to
You know
me,
what I'm
it's
saying?
just so disrespectful. And like, once again, I'm not saying you're right or I'm wrong, bro. Or I mean, I'm right or you're right. But so disrespectful that that's the only way you can look at something. Once again, only
That's
thinking.
not the only way I can look at it.
You're
That's the way I
only
think.
thinking
That's
the
what I think.
aggressive way of answering a
Because that's
solution,
what I think
bro.
happens.
Dude, if I had 3 boars, you know what I would do? Check for dicks. I got 1 dick. I got 2. I got a pussy.
That's what we
Now
learned to eventually do.
I mean,
Well, according to you, that's now an evil thing
why
because we
is
should
it,
be doing that
why
type of
is that
thing,
not possible
because
though?
we're doing it to benefit
What are you
humans. I don't
talking about?
understand.
That when did we learn it then, Steven? When did we learn it? Why couldn't a caveman learn it? How do you know, bro? How do you know that a caveman would just attack another caveman?
That's just what I think, just like how you think that they would sit there and talk about it for some reason, like, based off anything more than assumptions. And you seem to go against what we seem to know about these people, So
once again, I'll try and provide why I believe that, right? And then you do the same thing on why you believe
I
it,
just
right?
said it based off what we know.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, I believe the opposite because of the fact of when you noticed, holy fuck, I'm the only species out here that's standing up. And then you look around and you finally see someone else who's standing up. I actually think you try and build a bond before you try to be aggressive. That's just what I think. That's how I believe. That's how I believe.
There were tribes everywhere.
So I think that these people would band up. And if I had to guess, man, it wasn't all about killing, bro. And no, I don't know. And of course, I get what you're saying because people are aggressive.
Some people did it.
To me, I just think the aggressiveness of things came a lot later. The exploitation of other people, all of that, I think that came a lot later. I think initially, a lot of species on this world, yes, they killed each other. Yes, they're aggressive, but they coexisted fine. There was a mutual understanding of like, look, this is the animal kingdom. A lion's going to hunt a gazelle, but it's understand that every lion's not going to hunt every gazelle, Every gazelle's not going to eat all the grass or whatever it is. Like there's this understanding. And when you have this understanding, it's like kind of the Native American thing that I'm talking about, where it's like you live more for the day. And I don't think that in that day, you always want to be a warrior. Like, yes, you're going to have to at times, and you're going to have to be aggressive if you encounter evil people. Someone wants to beat your head in, yes. But I don't think that you come into existence of human, and the first thing you're thinking is like attack other humans. I just don't believe it.
And that's not at all what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's not at all what I'm saying. There are instances where people came together. That's why we are humans. We formed groups. We formed tribes. We assimilated. We joined forces. We did shit together. But a part of that process is fighting other humans. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of us are saying, I'm not saying these acts are mutually exclusive. That's all we're doing. That goes hand in hand with who people are. We're on the good and bad side of doing things. You know what I'm saying?
I think it happens.
But we are aggressive. I think we were aggressive beings. That doesn't mean that we were just killing people in each other on sight. Do I think that was the case when it came to how we saw inferior in species? I think we were raping Neanderthals, and I think we were killing the other species of humans, just like, because they were literally dumber versions of us. If someone comes and attacks us, we're probably gonna attack back. Could we try diplomacy? I'm sure we did. I'm sure people had peace offerings. Even early on, the Egyptians, the Sumerians, and the Romans were all recorded trading with each other.
Yeah, but even you bring them up, but I haven't talked about them one time because to me that's already too late. Like I said, like once you establish the city, you're already past where I'm talking about. So like Egyptians and Romans and shit, yeah, I already know that's evil. I'm not even going to ever debate that. But I'm talking about in the beginning of times. I just have a lot. I like to picture a lot more loving world. I believe that this world used to emit a lot more love than it does today.
I'm sure there was.
I think that we're just really kind of like bind by this aggressive mindset of like what humans are today. And I don't think humans were always like that. I think animals were different. I think humans were different. I bet animals were less aggressive towards humans, bro. Now I bet every animal kingdom that knows about a human hates us and is trying to kill us. Makes sense. But I feel, don't let me say I bet. I feel that it was different. I think it was a different feeling on planet Earth. You're always going to have aggression. Like I'm saying, there's a mutual understanding of like, I need resources. You need resources.
It goes
but
both
when
ways,
you have,
both happen.
Once you start creating all of these things and you allow, like in that system that me and you were talking about right now, there's no way 7 billion people ever are created, right? Because you do have these forms of aggression and like, you don't have all these ways to sustain life this far. You get what I'm saying? You have a lot more baby deaths, birth deaths, all of this shit, starvation death, like all of this that would keep your population a lot more lower, So yes, I do believe like the aggression would still like happen, but I just think it was a very small percentage. And yes, I'm understanding through all species to be like, that does happen. That does happen. But for the most part, let's coexist with one another.
And I think a lot of it comes from our early, us being early evolutionary ancestors of our previous type of people, where we came from our ape-like instances, Sure, not all monkeys are evil, but most apes and monkeys are pretty fucked up and aggressive. And I think that's a huge thing that plays into our early role as what we call as primal people.
But just give me this: the monkeys and apes you were judging are what the monkeys and apes right? That's who you're judging. You're judging the apes and the monkeys that you've seen, right? But that is not the same animal that existed 1,000 years ago. It's not even close.
And I get you, and I get you.
It's an entirely different mindset, dude.
And I get you.
And I believe over time it was aggression that grew, along with other things. But aggression grew, in my opinion.
I mean, I think that's one thing that from life early on. There's always that prey and that predator. When it comes to carnivorous beings. You know what I'm saying? Like what we think T-Rexes did. Extremely aggressive animals that would kill just to go and eat stuff. I mean, like this world, especially early on when it came to all these species fighting for the survival. Not all species make it, but all species are going to try and survive. I mean, by any means it takes to continue to push that species forward.
And what I'm trying to say is as far as murder goes, I don't view murder as evil. Like I said, that's part of the animal kingdom. Because when you have this low number, yes, you have that, but it's never mass. So then when you have 7 billion and then you have murder, now we're murdering 1 billion animals a day. Now we're evil. Okay. But if you check that and you never allow that, you would still have murder. You would still have thieves. You get what I'm saying? You still, but it's a minuscule amount. Once you have this many, now it's like there's 7 billion people, right? Let's say 1 billion of them are evil, right? 1 billion, such a large number. You're like, it doesn't matter that there's 6 billion good people. There's 1 billion bad ones, and that's all I see.
That's what I'm saying. Like, especially when it came to early humans, when it came to, killing other people, it was all simply for survival. It was all simply to ensure that their villages are the ones surviving. You know what I'm saying? Like none of their actions early on cannot be described as good or evil because it's for their what they see as the human race for what they're trying to protect. You know what I'm saying?
Right there, I'm right there with you. Surviving is fine. Thriving is different, bro. Surviving is fine. Thriving is different. Yes, villages would attack, but if you want to go Genghis Khan and take the next village, now you're evil. Now you're becoming something that I don't think naturally exists.
And I don't think, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying these early people were evil. Did they kill, rape, and murder? Yes, they did. Does that make them evil? No. Because without the actual knowledge of what is better, how you're supposed to move,
So right there, you're right there with me. You're right there with me, right? So now imagine that we understand murder, pillage. That's a part of life, right? But we're not evil people, right? But here comes the evil guy, right? Who now plays on your understanding of what murder and pillaging is. They see, right, that we can abuse this, right? You don't really understand it. So now I can abuse this. I can teach you, murdering, a village for their resources is appropriate. I can teach you that, or I can teach you that first you should try and trade with that village. First, you should try and find your own resources, right? Or I can teach you, you need something, you kill, you take it. So that's what I'm saying. We're like, I just think it was a lot more of the contrary. And no, I guess we're never going to know the fact. And the world's so deep in shit now that it's never getting reversed. So I just don't see how we're ever going to bounce back from it. But,
well, that's the next big thing is how we'll bounce back from this type of thing.
We just won't. We won't, bro. Our best chance is just not. That's probably why they reset us every once in a while. That's why they hit us with a mass extinction, bro, because we fucked up again. We got it wrong again. Restart it.
That's what I'm saying, man. With something when it comes to what we were doing, because I mean, from our understanding, humans have been around for at least 150,000 years. You know what I'm saying? We could have been doing some crazy ass shit in that time frame, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about what we did just in 5,500 years. I mean, what we could have done in 10,000 years. I mean, we could have been wiped out back then. We could have been somewhere else. We could have been in some type of different technological wave. Who the fuck knows, man? It's all very possible just because of how much time that is.
That's what I was saying earlier. How can we say, it was like this or it was like that? Bro, let's say, right, like it's so easy to do things when you do it like this way. Like, let's say you're the president, the first president of America, and you get the knowledge that 2,000 years ago, they were way ahead of us, bro. Like, they had flying cars, they had went to Mars, like all this shit, right? And then the ice age hit and they ended up dying, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm the first president of America, and I'm the only one that knows that knowledge, bro. I'm not going to tell you about all these things they had that I can't provide to you. I'm going to tell you about cavemen and how they didn't even know what fire was. And now I can bring it to your stove. You're welcome. Do what daddy says, right? I'm not going to tell you if they had the cure to cancer. And I don't. It doesn't benefit me to tell you that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
So
I get you.
all of that history that we love to proclaim, to me, I take none of it into account, man. I take
I get you, bro.
all
and
of
I get
history
you,
with a grain of salt.
And I feel you. I feel you 100%, man.
The moment you started paying people to find history, now I don't want to. Now I really. That's why I like with the dinosaur thing. Like, I'm not never one to say dinosaurs don't exist, but the fact that like an archaeologist like makes his money off of finding it, that always freaks me out. Like, you need you need a funded expedition, and when you go on that expedition, you find something, boy. You know what I mean?
I couldn't explain.
I don't
any
like
of
that,
it, bro. I couldn't explain any of it, bro.
I
You know
don't
what I'm
like
saying?
that.
You know,
the moment
Well, I
you
mean-
started doing things to make $1, like that's what ruined it, right? Because now you just want to do it as much as you can for the least amount of effort.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it
Yeah.
goes. Because you're just like, oh, I need more dollars, so I'm not going to do more work. I'm going to do the minimum amount of work to give you as many of these as I can.
It's just weird to think about, where we came from, and and I mean, at one point, with history, I remember at one point there was some motherfucker that was just like, hold up, how did we get here? Like, it's just like, there was just some dude in like 1,000 years before Christ or whatever who was just like, how the fuck did we get here, bro? Like, what the fuck are we doing right now? It's just weird things, man. And how we got to this point where we're just living in a fucking concrete jungle
Divisiveness, bro.
with
That's my only answer.
poison
It's
seas and shit, man.
the reason that I say divisiveness, right, is because like I've tried to explain to you before, where like I believe that 9 out of 10 people are good people, that there's no evil. Now, it might be more than that, right? But at least 9 out of 10. Like, that's just what I believe, right? And I've explained this to you before of like, I think that evil is able to stay in the fight with good because it's willing to do things that good won't do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to use a child, as a suicide bomber, but evil would do that. So they have the advantage on me, right? So if we all live in a village together, right, and we establish evil, right, everyone knows that that's evil, bro. There's 100 of us in the village, and there's one person who wants to use a kid to blow someone up. No one else. We can all come together and go, dude, none of us think like that. None of us think we should use kids for that, bro. He's wrong. Like, we don't need to argue that. None of us believe that. He's the only one. That's not right. Like, we can easily agree on that. So that's where divisiveness comes from. I never wanted to be 90 of you, clearly seeing that all of you want the same thing and only this one person wants something different. I want to make it to where it's only 9 of you and you see 2 people who want something different. Because then you're like, oh, well, that's almost half of us, Now it's like you don't have the same numbers behind. But if those same 9 people talk to the other 10 groups of 9, they'd all tell you the same thing. They all tell you, bro, we only want to be happy. We're not using kids for anything else.
I feel, man, yeah.
You know what I mean? But the fact that now I got you separated, you don't communicate with that person. We talked about before. You don't say hi to your neighbors. You don't talk to everybody on your block, but you've known them for 10 years, bro, because they divided you, man, to where you don't have this village feeling. You have this individual feeling. So when bad mass things happen, we see it all over the news. Like I said, there might only be 1 billion bad people, but it's just constantly like, look at that bad person doing that, bad person doing that. And you don't talk to enough good people to go. We talked about before, everyone we know only wants to be happy, bro. That's all they want. Everyone. If you don't talk to everyone, bro, you go around, right, and you get in one of those groups of evil. You're an individual. You got this individual mentality to you, and no one's there to tell you otherwise. The first group you encounter is the group you're going to sway with. Well, now I divided it to where the good group doesn't even look attractive, bro. You want the bad group that has gold chains, the nice car. You want all of these things that I created through another evil thing of money. I've now created the things that you search for, and you go with that group, and those are evil people that banded together. So
Right.
now you think that a lot of people think like this, when really it's just that small ass group that I gave you. I gave you this little 4 for you to become the 5th. So you can fall right back into that circle. And that's the same thing like the projects over and over and over. When you can't see that if you go 10 miles the other way, it's 1,000 people that don't live like these 4 people. But you can't tell, bro, because I done divided all of that. And now I got you seeing what I want you to see.
I
I
feel you.
want you
Yeah.
to walk outside and be afraid that someone has a gun. Be afraid you might be robbed. Be afraid for your children. I want those things for you. I don't want you to trust your neighbor. I don't want you to talk to your neighbor. I don't want you guys to think together. I don't want you using psychedelics. I don't want nothing like that for you to be social. I want everybody individualized, and I'll work on them individually. I'll put them in boxes. Duncan Trussell thing, right? It was like, they don't want you to know who you are, so they can tell you who you are. You know what I mean? You're a gangbanger. You're a drug dealer. You're this, you're that. But you can't see that everyone else is thinking something different. That's how I see it, bro. And that's why I don't like anything divisive, man. I try and stay away from it all. That's why I backed away from the politics thing, bro. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
because
man.
I just
Yeah.
don't want to have anything that makes us like, for example, man, I went up somewhere this weekend, right? I go there's a Trump and Pence sign. I'm like, oh my God, bro. I meet these people, dude. They were some of the nicest people I ever met in my life, bro. Like literally, you get that feeling, that moral feeling,
Yeah,
where you're just
yeah.
like, whoa, these are good people. They believed in Trump and Pence, man. If I'd allowed it to be, a political debate that day, we probably could have been at odds end. You know what I mean? But instead, I found our similarities. Instead of me going and finding our difference, oh, you like that? I don't like that. Let's argue about that. I found our similarities. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I get you, man. No, I
we
get
have
you. You
way
want
more
to.
in common than we do different, bro. But
Yeah,
they
no, I
just
feel you,
find that
man.
one different thing,
And
and
this
they
is
just
look,
bang it home and
listen,
bang it home and bang it
and
home.
this is what you have going on in Portland right now. You have the build up, the heat of all that. That's the result of that situation,
Yep,
man. That's the
yep,
result of that
exactly,
situation, man.
exactly.
You know, especially I mean, we're looking at an area where political identity from a very early on spot. Everyone always knew like Oregon, Washington, those types of areas. Were more politically. I remember my cousin went and lived there when she was 20. A couple years ago. She lived there for like 7 years. I mean, she said it's a very intense political climate, because people are very like, I mean, people joke about it all the time, people with the recycling, the hippie
Mhm.
area, type of deal, all that preservation stuff, so like when you see these clashes, I mean, people are dying left and right in Portland because of the violence that's taking place right now, what I'm saying, between both sides. You're watching the very byproduct of this thing work its way into civilization, where you have normal people turn into aggressive killers, where it's not even where I want to talk to you. It's just fight on sight because of
Yep,
what you're wearing. And I seen earlier, it was
yep.
at an Arizona rally, Black Lives Matter dude and Trump protester square up, and it was Trump shirt, BLM shirt,
Yep.
squared up. One of them got knocked out, man. It's just like you're watching it work its way right
But
there.
you never see the one where they hugged, right? That's my thing about it. Was like, let's go off of that on everything. Let's go off through every example you just gave right there. So let's think about Trump supporters, right? Most of the Trump supporters I know, they aren't people going around screaming Trump 2020. They aren't going around saying fuck all immigrants. They aren't going around saying,
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
I didn't give any particular examples
No,
for
no, no,
anything.
no.
I'm just
I'm
saying
doing
how
this.
where it's
I'm doing
working.
this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm saying they aren't doing all those things, right? But when you go on media, like if you see a viral video, that's what you see, right? You see a guy in a hotel, fuck y'all, Trump 2020, make America great hat again, right? But that really isn't most of the people I know. Even if they are Trump people, they're not that guy. I'm not saying they're good people, but they're not the guy that goes around with make America great hat saying Trump 2020. Like
Right.
very few people do that, but that's what they show you that is, right? And then on the left side, most of the people like us that are, I would say we're Democrat, right? We're liberal, basically. We're liberal, right?
I want to say Democrat,
We're
but
liberal.
we're
We're
liberal.
liberal, right? Most of the liberal people I know, we don't go around saying use the right pronouns, or you can't fat shame. I don't know really any liberals that do shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But if you go onto CNN, what do you see the videos of, right? It's a lady freaking out because someone put, fucking gluten in her chicken nugget or something, right? And then that's what makes the people on the other side that go, what the fuck? They're like that when most people aren't like that.
I know. I'm with you, bro.
And then Black Lives Matter, most of them are peacefully protesting, but they'll show you the one where the guy got in the fight,
100%,
right?
man. 100%.
That's what they do, bro. And we just keep like, and I'm guilty of it. I've done it too. Like, when Trump first ran, like I was all over the internet, bro, every day. Most of my arguments about political, bro. And I had to realize I'm doing exactly what they want me to do, bro. Instead of me finding people who think like me, I'm now trying to find people who don't so I can argue with them and try and convince them of something. Instead of me just going, bro, me and you think almost exactly alike. We should probably get something going together. I'm spending all my energy and time trying to find people who don't think nothing like me, that I'm never going to change and convince them of something completely different. You're not.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I'd be the person where I would, tape on someone's stash or some shit or other, and just say, I'm done with it, man. I don't if we're having a conversation, I don't want to talk about what's going on right now, bro. I do not want to talk about the campaign. I don't want to talk about what's going on in Kenosha. I do not want to have these conversations or debates with people no more, man.
Let's just talk about things we got in common. You like barbecuing? Oh, dude, I love barbecuing.
That's what I'm saying.
Man. What kind of seasoning you use?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Get back to that community feeling, bro. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, I feel like even 100 years ago, like when you woke up in the morning, bro, there's just a different feeling, bro. Like, I know you believe in vibes, you believe in energy, like there's just a different, the world, the planet can emit a different energy, bro, a different vibe. And if you're hurting it every day, you're abusing it every day, it's going to emit a negative vibe. And the moment that we love it, that we get back to that real soul, spiritual, hey, I'm human, animals coexisting of like one another, that love, that feeling, I think that's when the planet's going to start emitting those type of vibes, man. And you're going to wake up differently. How they talk about an enlightenment? Like kind of like that, bro. Like eventually I think there's going to be this point where it's like, I was talking to you about it before, where it's like if you're looking at it was on the asset. But I was like, if you're looking at a planet from the outside and you just see, is it positive or is it negative, right? Yin or yang. What's it emitting right now? It's not always 50-50. You're going to have times where it's 70-30. It's 30-70.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's yin and yang. Yin and yang isn't always right there, And like if right now we're just emitting a negative energy, Mars might be positive. The moon might be positive, right? So it's like things that counteract and create a yin and yang. But like right now, this is what this planet is emitting for its species that are coexisting on its life. And it's not a good one, man. And I just think if like, how when you do something wrong, bro, it's on your conscience, right?
Right,
Like you're just like, man, I know that's gonna find out. He's gonna say that to me. I'm gonna end up having to do that. Oh, did that red light camera catch me earlier? Oh, I know I was doing 80 and that. Like when you do these things wrong, they stay on your mind, bro. And like I think that they're like, that's all like programmed into like the planet's energy, man. Of just like we all feel really guilty. We feel really guilty, bro. And matter if you want to admit it or not, in the moment that you get that off of your chest, that you have that selfishness, that you're emitting giving, you're not doing things for yourself. When everyone's doing that, bro, that's why I think the word utopia starts coming into play. Like whether you have everything you need or not, we're emitting the right energy to go down the right road. We're working that way instead of working towards who wants to monopolize crystals.
Right.
Like shit like that. Like, I don't just some shit. Obviously, I'm working on all this up here, but I'm seeing the world differently, bro. I'm seeing the world differently. And I know what makes me feel good every day. Like I know when I'm living my best, and it's when I don't do bad things, bro. It's when I don't have nothing on my conscience.
Right.
When I have a clear conscience, I feel like good things are coming. Like I just do. But when I have a bad conscience, I feel like I deserve bad things. When I've stolen before, somebody robs me and I feel like I deserved it because I stole, It's like there's something to that to me, bro. I think that's really like something that I don't know about if everybody's gonna feel that, but like more that I'm just learning that more. I feel like every psychedelic trip, man, I just get kind of closer and closer to that understanding of like what makes me emit sunshines, And like once you do that, it's hard for someone to be around you and not emit sunshine, right? Like if all I emit is sunshine, it's hard for you to be a shadow. You know, you're like, you're in the light, baby. You're in the light. You want to be part of the light. You don't want to be part of the
Well,
light.
it's a shit person, you know. It's like, then
And then, bro,
not much you can do for themselves.
my raise ain't signing on you, dog. You
Yeah,
know, my
yeah.
raise ain't for you, dog.
That's what I'm saying,
My
man,
raise
you
are
know?
only for. I don't want to shine on you. I don't want to. I want you to disappear into the shadows. I'm gonna give this the light. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go shine on a baby.
Work on him, man.
Yeah,
Lost cause over there.
fuck that.
Shit,
You know?
you bye.
I seen a thing like that. They were saying, well, like Black Lives Matter, where it's like, you don't got to keep explaining why you're doing these things. You know, if they wanted to know, they would understand. You know, those who want to know, they learn.
Right.
You know, those who don't want to learn, it's just Black Lives Matter. Stop rioting, stop saluting. You know, like that's what it's going to be. You're never going to change those people, bro.
Yeah, and especially when you have people, you know, I think this is a huge thing. And I think a lot of people will get in on it. You know, is people who interfere. I won't even say with the election, but who interfere with our political discourse. And I think there are people, especially outside this country, who want to mess with that, and do things to ignite that type of thing up. It seems like a very smart weapon if you can sow it chaos into the people of the country.
Exactly.
You don't need to fuck with the government.
Exactly.
I don't need to fight you on land. I don't make your people hate each other.
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
bro. Divisiveness, bro.
Yeah,
I don't even gotta do nothing, bro. I created all these things you're just gonna beef with each other about. You're never gonna realize how many of you feel exactly the same. Because you're always going to find something to feel different about. If it ain't sports, it's fucking medicine. If it ain't medicine, it's politics. If it ain't politics, it's money. If it ain't money, it's cars. Like, you're just going to, I've gave you so much shit that you don't need. You'll find something that you don't relate on.
Yep. Exactly. Man.
That's what I was saying before. Like, all of these things to me they're beautiful things. I love Teslas and shit, but none of it should have needed to be created.
Yeah, man. No, it's a very dangerous thing because you have people who aren't involved in any particular situation or have never done anything before, but they're already coming at each other at a level of which like you would have thought that they had already met, and like they were the ones that directly caused this type of thing happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like people are ready to kill you on sight. It seems
like think about Ben Shapiro, right? You think Ben Shapiro ever actually been to a Black Lives Matter protest?
No, I don't think so.
Never, right?
No.
But he talks about it all day long. He'll tell you about it all day long. He never actually been there one time, bro.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Like, where do you get the right? Where do you get that right, bro? Your ego's so big. You just want to be right. You just want to be first. And I know about this because I used to want to be that person. And it's like, I say psychedelics, bro. It's all psychedelics, dude. It's the only chance we got, Steve, is psychedelics, bro. Is to shove it down their faces, bro. And just so they can get it, because that's what helped me, bro, really understand of how selfish I was. How, like, I was talking to you even with like my hero complex. I've always wanted to be a hero. I always wanted to help. Being a hero is ego. You know what I mean? A hero is someone that's acknowledged for what they did.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's integrity to when you do it and no one sees or says nothing about it. I want to be a good person. I don't want to be a hero. You get what I'm saying? I had to go through that in my head, little things like that, and change my thought process, because even in these things that you think are good, they have these bits of ego to them that are still twisted. You still want recognition. You still want, success from it. You want something from it, instead of Mike Tyson, man, it's just like, dude, you can tell what psychedelics did for Mike Tyson, bro.
Oh, yeah,
like, you can definitely
it,
tell, bro. Yeah. And like, I think he's a great example of like, dude, give it to rapists, give it to child molesters. And I really think it could have a chance at helping them understand, he was a rapist, bro. He went away for rape. And you can tell that's a different man, bro. I don't say that about nobody, yo.
Yeah.
And you can tell with Tyson, it's a different man, bro. And doesn't mean he won't rape again, but I'm telling you, he's not the same guy when he did rape. And I think that comes from the DMT and the shrooms and shit. Like, he makes so many good points, bro. Like, he's actually got a lot of insight, man. He was talking about how, like, when he was studying conquerors of the world, like Alexander the Great and shit like that.
I remember talking about that.
Yeah, he's like, these people had to be high. He's like, they had to be on shrooms or something.
They're
Because
talking
who
about,
thinks like that,
they're
you
talking about
know?
Hitler.
He's like, who thinks like that? Like, I'm going to take over the entire world. You know what I mean? Or even like he was naming another guy that like wanted to liberate all the slaves in the world. It's like, still, who are you to think like that? You got to be on some shrooms or something, right?
Hitler was always banged up on like coke and like heroin and shit, man. You know, just like a crazy guy. It's,
Do
to
you
be running
think,
at like that level,
do
you
you,
know?
but in my opinion, the elites of this world, the tops, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett's, they use psychedelics, bro. They use psychedelics, dude, and they know what
Oh, they
psychedelics
use
can
that
do.
pure, bro.
They know what
They use that pure
psychedelics
shit.
can do, bro. And that's why they do not want people taking psychedelics, because you start to find those common things with one another, bro. And that's the best example, I guess. I mean, I don't want to go back down the road, the long yellow brick road there, but I guess that's the best example I have with the language thing is like when we're on shrooms, you know, how when the time we were just out in the darkness and like I'm like, you're vibrating and you're like, you're vibrating, and there's just like, there's this thing going on. Like, we're definitely more connected than when we're sober. Like, we can both agree on that. Like, not that I could read your mind, like I'm saying, not that I could read your mind or nothing like that, but like, there's a different level of understanding of kind of like what's going on.
Oh, yeah, I feel you,
It's
yeah.
like when you're not on psychedelics, like I never feel like I feel super close to you, but not like when we take some shrooms and we're talking, you know, like I'm ready to tell you about like a fucking, you know, a time I beat a kid up or someone, you know, a body I left somewhere or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to tell you some crazy deep shit, bro. I'm ready to just let it out, cry,
As I'm saying,
whatever.
especially as I'm saying
you
with the
know?
acid, especially, man. Like if they were going for a truth serum, man, they
Yeah.
worked a good job on that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? If they were going for a truth
Acid's
serum,
great, but I really don't understand acids. That's why I always
neither do
stay
I.
on the shrooms.
That's why like this, I always said at the beginning, I don't know what it is about acid, and I've tried to explain it where I feel more in my body
It's
as like a chemical breakdown.
It's just like
rather than like
it's
a
like
mushroom where it's more like a I don't know, like a mind high. You know what I'm saying?
it's a
like
spiritual high,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? It's just like it's like a next level where like acid, I feel really grounded to the earth, whereas shrooms, I feel really like with the earth instead of like grounded. I'm like stuck on earth. Or it's more like I'm like here with earth. You know, as I'm saying, it's just a different feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it being a man-made chemical,
Yeah,
being, you know,
I would
like
say
synthetic,
on shrooms, I'm just way more in sync.
it's synthetic, you
know. With acid, I'm kind of geeky.
And I think that comes from that synthetic shit, man. I think that's what it is. I mean, like no matter if you even
it's a chemical though that's in plants. Dextramine, right?
But the synthesized version is a man-made chemical, you know,
right? But it is deprived from plants, though.
I don't think LSD is found naturally anywhere.
LSD, the chemical that's in LSD,
components of them that can be combined, yeah, but I don't think the actual combination of it, LSD is found in anything naturally.
I don't know how that works, but I know it has a natural chemical in it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. You know, I mean, of course, you know, like most synthetics come from our, you know, some sort of natural.
That's why I just like the shrooms. You know, it's like people aren't fucking with that. You know, and just like
because I mean, like that's the thing. Like all of these chemical structures are when you take natural, already existing elements and compounds and combine them, and then they combine in a specific way.
The one that, you know, the one, not the last shrooms, but like before that, the one we had out there just in the open darkness, like that time, bro, that I had that like sound thing going on when I was sitting in that chair and shit. Like ever since that day, bro, I don't know what it is, but I just feel super more spiritual, bro. Like I just feel super more in tuned with things. Like I don't know what happened, but like ever since that day, like things just been vibrating, bro. Like everything vibrates to me. Like I was telling you, sometimes I'm looking at you and like I see the same thing. It's like it stayed with me, bro. Like that trip like stayed with me that day. I'm like, I just see everything with like a frequency now, man. And just like if I wasn't already tuned out of like all the things that the world's trying to offer me, like I'm really tuned out now. Like I really don't care no more. Like, I really don't have any interest. When I think about making money, it's so I can do like other things. You know, it's like I never actually want to accumulate money. Like, it's just evil. Like I just don't even want to deal with it, bro. I wish that I just like. I'll die a poor man. Like I said, you know, I'll die a poor man and be perfectly happy with that. I just don't even want to involve in that system. And I feel like the more psychedelics I do, like the farther I go away. And like, I don't want it to be like where you do psychedelics every day or something like that, you know, but like I talked to you before, like pulling that out of the trip and taking it back into the regular day
some
world.
Microdosing, you know.
I'm not even much of that, you know, like I'm like to the point now where like, I couldn't even tell you how many more trips I think I need. Like, I couldn't even tell you, like, I just feel like like they worked. That's the best way I could say it. Is like the shrooms worked for me, bro. Like
Yeah.
they definitely made me a way better person. Like
I think I
I'm
need
the
a couple
best
more,
person.
but man, it's
I'm the
like
best person I've ever been, bro. Like I know that for sure.
I'm
And
saying,
I
bro.
attribute it to shrooms.
Every time I trip, bro, I come out with some type of piece of knowledge, where it's like, where I just feel like I need to like implement it in my life, and it's just like it's a very
Mhm.
mind altering and life changing experience. You know what I'm saying? Like what it
Yeah.
can do for like your mental. How you
I
think about
describe it
things.
kind of differently where it's like for every trip for me, I'm actually eliminating things that I have in my life. I'm not adding new things or taking nothing away from the trip. I'm actually just kind of processing what's in my life that I don't want or don't need. And that's how I gain something from the trip because I come back out of it realizing something I don't want anymore. Where I'm like, that happens every single time. Where I'm just like, I'm not doing that no more. I mean, we had a kind of a similar moment like that the last time we were talking about a specific person
Yeah,
where we were
yeah.
just kind of like rolling on that person. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing that no more. Like I realized it. Like, it's like I'm realizing things that like, I kind of just accept a lot of things, bro, in the normal day. And I kind of just go with the flow, not really wanting to put my energy in certain spots and not really being decisive enough with what I do with my energy. And like every
Right.
time I come out of stream, I'm just like, yeah, see, more and more the picture gets clearer and clearer of like what I'm supposed to be focused on. Just personally. Like I don't even know if it's for everybody, but just like personally, like I just want to grab that tulip, and smell that tulip more and more, bro. Like I want to be in that Swedish mountain gap right there, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, gap we always talk about, bro. And I
Yeah,
just
bro.
want to run side to side and put my hands on the mountain, swim in a fucking lake, like,
Oh shit, man. I mean, that's all I want, man.
yeah. I just
It's
see it more
beautiful.
and more,
I mean, like it's like as as I've gotten older, I thought about things. It's like my goals would always be like super complex. It's like it's very intricate.
Mhm.
Like you have a house or something, and you have all these different things going on. Where it's like as time has gone on, it's become simpler. The wants,
Yeah.
the needs, the
Yeah.
ideas of like what I want to be successful has just become simpler. You know what I'm saying? It's
And
like
it's like I feel bad for everybody who hasn't done shrooms, because that person that I was before I started taking them, I hate that person. I hate that guy, bro. I hate his mindset, dude. It was very egotistical, very selfish, doing a lot of things for the pursuit of my own good. I'm so glad. Yeah, I feel like a snake, when they shed, bro. Like just get rid of that layer of you. Like, oh, the world put this tainted layer of skin on me, bro. And I
yep.
just like shed it every time I take a psychedelic. It's just like a new me, coming out of not my cocoon, because that's your final form, but I'm doing something I do every month,
Yeah,
I'm doing something
exactly.
consistently. It's like I got forms, Eventually I'll hit my cocoon.
Yeah, exactly, man. I feel you, man. It's like I think I need a couple more trips. I need a couple more adventures. A couple more thought process. Things to process with
At this
myself.
point, I just want to be different spots when I do trips.
Yeah,
Like I want
exactly,
to be
man. I think
different
that opened
places
up
to
a lot.
experience different things.
Yeah,
bro.
and you want to see different things. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want like
I also want to just do more psychedelics with other people.
yeah, that's another
Because
thing.
I mean, me and
branch
you,
out.
we pretty much just are
Bro, I
touring.
want to get like 8 heads deep, and everyone.
Every time
do
we
some,
do it, just
shrooms.
us, I always feel like I'm torturing you because I've got like just so much shit I'm just throwing at you. I'm just like, well, there's that. I just tie so many. I realize that like when I'm done, I'm like, oh my god, I just tied like 9 things together. Like I don't even know what I don't even know what you're gonna respond to. I was like, here, pick one of those things.
But you grow, and then I'll formulate a thought on one of them, and then you move on to the next one. I'm just like. All right, well, I now forgot that thought.
Marsh towel, dude.
I now forgot the previous one I had because he just brought up another thing.
This is all
with me.
supposed to be Marsh towel.
Like I'm having trouble formulating thoughts, period. But then I'm like, we're moving on to the next one. And
I love it.
It's
It's like 11-minute rant. I get to the end, I'm just like, yeah. Like, yeah, I'm just waiting for you, like, to see what you say. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I know.
I don't even know if you were like processing it the same thing. I'm just like,
trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. I get it, and I love it, man. I really do. I really do love it, man.
Yeah, I was just like, man, I was like, if there's a couple more people here, I could probably toss some different ideas. Give Steve a break. Maybe toss an idea here. If it gets interesting, bring it
That's what
back.
I'm saying. You need more people because they're also able to present different ideas and different takes on things, and either argue it back or there's a lot of different things that can happen from having more people.
I'm always just like, the thing that I want is always people to give me something, Like I want someone to like do that to me on one shroom trip, and not just like I want to process everything they're telling me. It's like that. I got this for that for that. This. You know what I mean? It's just like Marshall's here. You got corn never provide enough protein. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I just want to answer it all. Just like. Keep fucking coming, You're just in like an intellectual sparring war, of like not who's gonna win, but like how far can we go with this shit, Like what do you think about this shit? This is what I think about this shit. Steve says both of us are wrong, Dave says both of us are right. It's like what the fuck? I just love it, bro. I love information, dude. Like I get off on information, bro. I love just processing information, like seeing like what I want to do with it in my head. It's like I do what I want with it,
I'm always going down fucking holes.
You can give me like some of the most important information in the world. I just be like, don't give a fuck, And then you tell me like how an armadillo keeps it like in a strong circle or some shit, and I'm just like, I want that, and I want to think about that, Of like, why do armadillo?
I just like recently, like I said, I just went into a wormhole. I was just looking at like the different foundations of like what we saw as like civilization and like early people. And I'm just like looking, I'm like, all right, it's like human morality. What the fuck did the Egyptians say? What were some of the laws in the fucking Sumerian Empire?
Good
like
question.
What it's like what were people doing all the time and shit, bro? And I'm just like, all right, language. What the origin of language? What can we get down to like the earliest decoded language? What can we do with that? What are we thinking here? Like it's just like,
is that oohs and ahs? I mean, what you get to? Did you get anything?
A lot of it. I mean, like, it's all so weird because we're decoding things. But like, how are we decoding?
How are we interpreting
language, bro?
How are we interpreting language we don't know?
Assigning 3 lines and a dash mark to an A.
Yeah, we're assuming. We're not assigning.
But that's the thing. Like, how are you decoding that as being like, oh, this is our version of A?
We're trying.
Like it's like, but it's so weird. Like A through Z. Like, is that the very foundation of human language? Was it always A's and Z's? Like, I don't think so.
Right,
bro.
right. But when you see that, and people find it, you want them to try. You're right.
100%, man.
You want them to try.
But it's like, how do you
try to make me understand?
But it's just
try to make me understand.
I think it really will take us the wrong way because I'm looking at this like you're assigning that an A.
Dude,
I
just did an hour long of why language is evil, dude. Like this is what I'm talking about.
How do you do that? Like, how do you
interpret it? You can't.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You can't. Dude, we thought the world was gonna end, dude. We thought they wrote the calendar for the world to end. Like, we're just completely misinterpreting shit.
And then I also was thinking, I'm like, okay, as far as we know, mass religion started like 2,000 years after some of our civilizations. Like, we didn't have like the Egyptians had their own thing. But like it wasn't like Christianity where like it's on the scale of it is now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that has different factors for it and whatnot. But I mean, like the spirituality of these people didn't seem to set into like a teachable thing until like later on, where like Christianity comes in and then Islam much later than the Christianity and Judaism.
So did you learn any laws about Egypt?
Not really, because I mean, like a lot of things, like they're trying to decipher the things, but it's all hieroglyphics. We don't know what they say, Like, I mean, like you see, like sometimes you see clear pictures of like slaves, and you see like pictures of like executions and stuff like that. But like, we don't know what the whole story is, man. We just have these pictures of these dudes killing this guy. Like,
and we also, every day we draw pictures that are fictional. Like, just because you find a picture of a slave doesn't mean it's a real picture.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They drew it.
And that's the thing. Like,
could be imagination.
All this is before paper. So like, if you're missing half a stone tablet, you could be missing a whole fucking part of the story,
Right. So imagine you're Egypt's citizen You know what I mean? You've been out there all day carrying these big ass fucking bricks to build this pyramid. You go back to your little cave, and you're just sitting there with a rock at the end of the day, and you're just drawing like pictures of slaves because you wish you didn't have to do the work. It's like, I wish I had somebody like slaves carrying this shit like this. We find it 10,000 years later, like they had slaves.
Exactly,
you know what I
man.
mean? Like, he really was
Exactly.
just picturing this shit like, man, I wish I didn't have to carry rocks.
So like a lot of things with like, a lot of the more decipherable early law was like shit in like ancient Greece, like, or like, even Rome, the Roman Empire, where like, like I was wondering how they governed their different territories, because I mean, like, it was mostly Europe and parts of Africa. You're talking about across the whole sea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like across the whole body of water. How do you do
There's
it,
this sick part of me though that just always goes, are you sure? And was there even a fire? What if we actually just were idiots and we just act like there was a bunch of knowledge we had down, we don't, but really we're just barbarics. Like, I just don't know. Like I'm always just like, why are you trying to sell me this shit? Always get you in line.
Bro, and that's the other thing that tripped me out, bro. Is like, you look at a lot of like, civilizations after those, big ones that we named, like the Romans, the Egyptians, and whatnot. And these other civilizations, like from what we know, didn't take off, to the level of like the Roman Empire did. So like I remember Rome's trying to invade Britain, and it's just full of these like barbarian Viking dudes who are covered in like furs and leathers, and grow the hair out and shit.
Don't even shoot arrows.
Yeah, they're just like they're barbarians.
Mhm.
They're just crazy. There's no
Easy
form
kill.
there's no form of civilization, or like.
But somehow
according to
they're the
Romans,
ones that got to the library, right?
Who the Britons?
It was
the Romans.
Was it the Romans?
The Romans are the ones who destroyed the library,
okay.
apparently, yeah.
Wow.
Because
bad move, huh? Why would you attack the library? Like, come on
I believe
now.
at one point they controlled Egypt. They took over Egypt, I believe.
Whoever controls the knowledge, I guess, right? Controls it all.
Exactly.
Because when they own the information, they can ban it all they want.
Exactly, man. It's like it's very like human history from what we know and what we believe to be like, like recorded fact is like,
I'm just saying,
incredibly insane, bro.
Steal the books before you burn it down, right?
I mean,
steal the knowledge.
Who knows? Something like the Bible could have came out of that library, and they could have been like, it's ours, like some
the
crazy shit.
Book of Eli, Book of Eli had a great theory
some
on
crazy shit. They could have pulled some crazy shit and just been like, burn the rest. Everything else was destroyed, but look at what we rewrote.
You never seen a Book of Eli, right?
No,
right.
It's on Netflix.
The whole point of it, though, is
book. Yeah,
it's the Bible.
Is it the Bible?
So the world has, at this point, hit anarchy. There's basically no running water. Like, you got to find wells, There's no government, basically. And the entire world is searching for one thing, bro. Everyone's working to get a Bible.
Right.
Because they know once you get the Bible, you get the power, bro.
Right.
And, like, basically the whole movie is he's, like, the protector, of the Bible. It's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know what it is, but like I believe more and more in magic, dude. Like I just do, bro. I don't know what it is. Like it's not real magic. Like in the movie, right? Like he gets bullets shot at him and they stop. Like God stops them, I don't believe in that. But like I guess I could believe that you shouldn't have been there. That you can avoid being somewhere just based off of what you deserve.
My bad, bro.
But they're all chasing it. Eli Manning. Book of Eli. He's a badass in the movie. But that's what I think they're trying to portray into it, is like whoever you want to believe. You can believe God's doing it. You can believe the universe is doing it. You can believe you just deserve it. When you do good things, bro, I just think it happens, bro. I don't know what it is. I don't know what makes me believe that. I've never seen it, but I just believe it, bro. I just believe that, like, a dog would stop mid-tracks if it was attacking me one-on-one in an alley, Or a bear would leave me alone if it seen me on a trail. Or that engine would come back on a plane if we were going down. I just believe these things about myself, bro. I don't know why. I just think that like someone's going to protect me because I just live the ultimate giving life, Like I only want to do good. I only want to be a good person. I just feel like whoever it is, like somehow I'm just going to be protected, until I do what I'm supposed to do in the world. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I believe like that, but I just do.
I feel you, man. Sometimes I feel, I don't feel my sense of like mortality. Like I feel like whatever happens, it'll just work out. I mean, I may get in a car accident, but I feel like I'm gonna live. I may get injured, I'm gonna live. Nothing really crazy is gonna happen.
That's how I always
But,
felt, bro.
but I mean, you never know. Like and then there's times where I follow my bike and then like I get beat up a little bit, and I'm just like, oh man, we're just squishy bags of meat. We're so fragile. Anything could fucking happen, bro. I mean, we've seen that video where like the dude just gets hit by someone jumping off a fucking building and dies himself. Like it's just like crazy shit.
Crazy shit.
Like it's like I think especially with this much people in the world, like there's so much more circumstantial death because there's so many more people covering the square footage of the earth. That like the chance of an accident being in a particular spot,
that's very true.
It just couldn't.
That's always true. But I just believe that I won't be in that spot.
Like I think about shit.
You might be, but I won't. You know what I mean? You might be. Somebody's gonna be in that spot, but it won't be me. I feel
the same way, bro.
It's the thing. I feel the same way. I was telling you last time we was talking, bro, about like the deja vu thing, bro. Like I just feel like something would show me, bro. Like it's mad. I sound crazy, bro. I sound crazy, but I just feel like something would remove me from that area. That time I told you about that deja vu I had with Mario and them. Maybe I was supposed to die that day. I just feel like something removed me from that, bro. Every crash I ever took on a bike, it should have been worse. Yeah. Even the one where I got wrecked, it should have been worse. I should have been in worse. Wait, there's plenty of times I took accidents and nothing happened, bro. So it's like, even times that I fell, it's almost reaffirmed my belief of like, not that I deserve anything, like that, or like I'm immortal, but just like God got me. Like, I guess that's the best way to say it. Like, God got me, bro. I really just believe that because I got God. I'm going to be down here doing nothing but good. He's going to need guys like me, So that's just how I feel about it, man. I was talking about how I was always in the abandoned houses, always in crack houses, never got abused. Sexually, physically, nothing, bro.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
God got me. He's always had me since I was a kid, bro. I've always just been blessed and lucky, and just gonna keep happening.
See, I'm always stuck between like it's like good things happen to good people, and sometimes the world is just circumstantial and just statistics are against your favor at times. Just like it's tough because like until you're in a very mortal situation, you don't have a sense of your own mortality. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying. So it's like. I don't want to like say that because I mean people will live their whole life without ever having some type of mortal event happen to them. You know what I'm saying? No matter how dangerous they live, people will like do it all the time. So who the fuck knows?
Well, listen, I told you about my near-death experience before, right?
Yeah.
When that happened, I thought I was gonna die because I was a bad person, bro. I was doing bad things, so I had that feeling of I deserved it, bro. If it happened, well, I'm doing bad things. I'm not that person anymore, bro.
Got you.
I'm a good person now, bro. So yeah, there's the odds of anyone can die, but it won't be me. I don't know what it is. Like, do I think I can get cancer? Yeah, I think I'll beat cancer. I don't know what it is. I just same way I feel like about
custody, bro. I feel the same way, but like
just feel like I get what you're saying.
Sometimes you don't know.
I get it. See, you get that little laugh at the end, and I get what I understand it. I don't get that laugh at the end, bro. I just feel it. Like, I just feel like no matter what the situation is, like, God got me because I'm just like, I'm emitting that positivity that I'm talking about, bro. Like, the universe can't deny me of the things I want because they're only good things for others. Like, you can't deny me of my route in life. Like, there's nothing that's gonna, if I got cancer, I live long enough to see what I wanted to see. Like, if I did die randomly, it'd be after I accomplished my goals. Like, I just got this. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I have no special kind of life. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm going to hit the lottery or nothing like that. But I just feel like something like that's not going to happen, bro. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like a Christian, bro. You know what I mean? I feel like a Christian, but I'm not, but I live like a Christian. So I don't need to be a Christian because I feel like I live better than most Christians I know. Like, the psychedelics, bro. It really is. It's the psychedelics. They just dropped a lot of my selfishness, a lot of my ego. It made me feel like a lot better person. And just like what I'm emitting out into the world, I feel like it's just going to be like nothing but good and positivity that can come my way, bro. And just, I break my left arm. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
That happens. That's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Not at all, man.
When I broke my right arm, I was a bad person. You know what I mean? I was a bad person when this happened to me, bro. Since I've been a good person, since I've been this person, good things happen to me, dude. And I feel that way. You know, I don't live with that on my mind or anything like that. I just, Saul hit me deep when he said, I have no enemies.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many people can say that? How many
I
people
don't
can
think many
say
people,
that,
bro.
right?
I
Not
don't
many,
think many
and I
people.
got enemies right now, but I'm
Yeah.
working towards not having enemies, you
I
know?
don't know. I don't know if I got enemies.
You got an enemy. Someone hates you. Someone hates you.
Yeah, I'm not sure though.
Someone
I'm not sure
hates
who
you.
hates me.
You know? I can think of a
Really,
couple
but who hates
people,
me?
Alex. I can think of maybe 2 or 3 that might
Let's
not.
talk
That might
afterwards.
not have
Let's talk
a
afterwards.
they might not have the most well-being.
Let's
of
talk
it.
afterwards. That's all I'm saying. You know, we'll see. We'll see,
I don't know
man.
if they hate you. I don't know if they hate you, you know, but they're distasteful. You know, people hate on you. How about that, baby? I got you, King.
Can you help people
I think
hate
there's
on
people.
you,
I
you
think
know
there's
what I'm
people
saying?
that hate on you, Steve.
Is that for a particular reason that I do something to them?
I see they're hating, but they might hate on who you are. You know, I
Oh,
just think that's
let's
the
see.
thing.
I got
I think-
afterwards.
I think- That's what I think.
You know what I'm
I think
saying?
I could name a couple people for you. You
Yeah,
know,
I'll have to see. I
that are
think about it, you know?
envious. They're envious of you.
But doesn't mean I mean enemies. I don't understand. You know, if I'm doing something, I don't think I ever took any food from anyone's mouth. I never took anyone from anything. You know, I've made mistakes, but I mean, like, I don't. You know, I think I became a better person.
I guess if you're saying an enemy has to be like someone who wants to see like you
I
get
think there's
hurt.
some wrongdoing to that person.
What I'm
you
saying
know?
is like I think I can name someone who doesn't want to see you do good things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but, like, when we say enemies, though, I think like that constitutes someone. Because I mean, you can't help someone being envious of you. You know, I mean, you can't help that.
Anyone who has
Yeah.
evil towards me is my enemy, bro.
You know,
If
so-
you're envious towards me, I don't want you around me, dog.
But you didn't go make enemies, bro. You know,
You're
what I'm
my
saying?
you're my
You
enemy.
didn't go treat nobody bad. You know.
No, but you're my
I don't think
enemy.
you did anything to earn enemies. That's what I think
You
about
know-
when I think of saying something like I don't have enemies. Like I didn't go out and make anyone.
Okay.
mad at me.
I guess
I didn't make any
my
enemies, you
definition
know?
is if you don't want good things for me.
Yeah.
You're my enemy.
Well, I mean, I get that, you know what I'm saying, but you didn't go earn enemies. You didn't go and do something like you
No,
didn't go steal from
no,
someone and they're like,
no,
I hate
no,
you.
no.
Or you didn't backstab someone.
No, I guess
That's what
someone's
I
not,
think about.
I guess
you know?
someone's not ready to kill me or hurt
That's what I
me.
think
No,
about
no
that,
one's
you
ready
know?
to harm me.
If people hate on you, it's like I didn't do anything wrong. You know, I'm sorry. You're
No, but you have an enemy because like they don't want good things to happen to you. You
Well,
know what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
see- I
So
see-
like,
no,
so
I
like,
get your definition of it,
if he can
you
do
know?
something for something bad, but listen, let's say this guy I'm talking about, right? Someone knocks on the door and says, "Hey, bro, Steven Baker, just won $500. Do you know where he's at?" No, I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
no, I understand
you're my
your
enemy,
definition.
dude.
Yeah, I
You're my enemy. You
understand
don't
what
want
you're
good
saying,
things.
bro. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like, I think when you go out and say something like that, you're saying that like you didn't go out and you didn't do anything to wrong nobody. You didn't do anything to earn someone as an enemy. Yeah, someone who wants bad things for you is an enemy of you, but you didn't go out. You didn't backstab no one. You didn't steal from anybody. You didn't go and earn an
Yeah.
enemy. You know
I
what I'm
got you.
saying?
I just go back to
You
what I
know?
told you before, where it's like, if it's bad, it's evil. You know,
No,
that's
I
kind
don't
of how I
think-
look at
I
it.
don't think I went out and made some enemies. You know, I'm sure there's people who wish bad for me. You know, people do that. You know?
Okay.
People are bad people. You
Well,
know?
if that helps you say you don't got no
What
enemies,
can I say? You know, like I
to
say,
me, then I guess I picture a lot
I
of
get what you're
enemies.
saying, but I don't. When you say that, I didn't go and make anyone an enemy of me. You know, that's all I'm saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, and people who don't want good for me are my
People want
enemy.
to see your downfall.
You know, are my enemy. You know, I get that. You know, I get that, man. I 100% understand that. But I didn't make no one hate me. That's all I'm saying. You know, so.
But like, well, let's go back to the original person that said it, Saul. Like when Saul said that, you just really felt like the dude really means it. Like,
Oh yeah.
he knows. No one's even wishing bad for Saul. You know,
Right.
that's what I
want.
want. I want that.
I got you.
I want that. Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to be. You know.
I got you,
I
man.
want that. I want people just to. I want to be the sunshine, dude. I just want to give people sunshine, man. Just all the time, bro. Just sunshine, and just not let this world kick my ass so much.
Yeah, I
I
got you,
feel like I
man.
have so much energy and effort to
And
put
good
into
things,
things, bro, that I'm tired of putting it into bad things and bad people. I just want to.
Focus
I want
on
to
the
put it
good.
towards good. There's
Focus
so
on
many
the good,
people out
man.
here that think like me, bro. But like I said before, I'm not around those people. You know what I mean? I'm around people that I see as evil, bro. So to me, it's like I want to be around those other people, dog. I want to be around people who like
You want to meet those people, man. You want
want
to
to
spend
emit
good
that
time with those people,
sunshine,
man.
bro.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to make big rays of sunshine. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're all looking, man. We're all looking.
Instead of
so-
always like every day, man. But I always told you about my boxes, I tell you about my boxes I check. And like, there's a box, on my list, it's just it's a box of people. It's hard to even put a word on it, but it's a gift that some people have where like, not that they're not worried about things, because obviously that can be a bad person, a good person, but like, they know when to not put energy into something. You get what I'm saying? Like, they know when the battle is already decided. I never know that. I'm always ready, to you believe this? Well, that's just morally wrong, and I'm ready to go to war for it. But even people aren't going to believe in the same morals. And I'm just like, why do I keep wasting so much of my effort and Noel's energy, on these people who like, they don't even want to hear what I have to say. And when I do say it, it's like they're mad it came from me.
I got you. I
I
got you.
can't win. Like, I can't win with them people. I want to be around some people who like don't even know me, man. And so they can just have a fresh slate and just see like, this is what I am now.
So I
Bro.
want to get out here, man. You just want to meet a
Yeah,
bunch of new
bro.
people,
Just turn
from
over that new leaf, and
you
just
find cities that have
I
different
want to
cultures,
go around the
different
world
people,
and
man.
people go, God, I can't believe you're from Baltimore.
Exactly, man.
Like, and I'll just be
Exactly.
like, you won't even know what Baltimore is, bro. There's plenty
I
of me.
can't
Man.
believe you're American, bro, or
Yeah.
some shit. It's like
I want to
I-
just do that, bro. It's like, I'm just so ready to
At
do
the end of the day,
good
man, we're
things,
all
man.
people, bro. We're all
ready to
people. We
do
all have different
good
mindsets,
things, bro. I'm ready to get some good things done this weekend. I want to go down there and help the Ducks, get that done. This is the first weekend I can do that.
Yeah, I do want to do that, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
we
down
go
to
down
do
there,
that, bro. I'm gonna go hit up some ducks.
Yeah, dude.
I'll be busy. I'll be busy Saturday, but I'll be back that afternoon. So
When you took that shit though, you definitely felt a little bit extra connection to that duck, right?
I love ducks, bro.
No, I'm saying when we was on the shits,
the one right there.
you felt a little bit extra, right? It was just something, right? Like, that duck was definitely trying to convey something, dude. I felt that. Why was that one duck right there? Like, not another duck came over, bro. Not one other duck came over for the hour and a half we were there arguing.
Curiosity, yeah.
One duck, bro.
Yeah.
One duck was right there.
Gotta go help him now, man.
Something with that duck.
Gotta go help him out, man.
Something with that duck, though.
You gotta go help
something
him.
about that drug, bro, that allowed that, though. When I was like, man, when else would I be talking to a duck? It's just like, I just felt different, bro. I just felt connected to that duck. Psychedelics, bro. Everybody should do them, dude. You're gonna feel more connected to ducks. You're gonna feel way more connected to ducks, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Acid, do some goddamn shrooms. Get y'all shit together. Think about some shit, bro. And then come tell us about it. Tell us your goddamn experience, bro. I got to cut it off for that, man. I got to get out of here.
Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. We'll keep coming back. Appreciate you all. We've been a little inconsistent. We'll get back on our shit soon,
Happy
man.
Labor Day. We're here.
Anybody want to trip and learn some shit with us? I'll break down your egotistical walls. Okay. We're working on that.
Here's for psychedelic therapy. We'll help you out. We'll get over here. We'll go over all your traumas.
Language is evil. Thank you all. Love you all.
Love you all. You have a good night. Like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate it.